It's just so revealing. I'll just say it one last time because I can't control myself, that you were torpedoed by supposedly conservative Republicans. I gave a speech on Tom Tillis's behalf when he ran for the first time for Senate. And I sort of think that like you're getting one thing, but almost 100% of the time, the person winds up to be John Cornyn or, like a super aggressive liberal posing as a conservative Republican. It's so weird. Do you understand the mindset there?
No, my wife, who's like you, smarter than me, and so she said the other day, why can't we go back to term limits? It's this instinct of there's something about when they're in for a while, they seem to have figured out they think they figured out what's better for everyone. I don't really know. Look, one of the problems I hate is, I know you do, is just tell me the truth to my face. If this is what you're doing.
100%. Right? Well, that's what I respect about Tillis. At least he lectured you in private.
He did. That's right. He did. And
I like that.
And he unloaded on me in private.
Well, good. I disagree. I think a lot of things I've already expressed them, but I admire that.
Yeah. So, but I don't know what gets well, I do know the system is so powerful and so alluring and seductive that after a while, I think it's inevitable that even good people are tempted to a worldview that's not as good, even if they're not tempted to pure straight on corruption. So it is a problem.
There's just so much money.
That's right. That's it. It's not power, right? It's money. It's all money.
It's money. That's exactly right. What other Republican senators opposed your nomination?
Well, it's funny. As soon as Tillis blocked it, then a guy like Senator Cornyn said, "I'm for him."
Did he really?
Yeah. We weren't sure until then. And then I think Collins said, "I'm looking at it. I'm thinking about it." So I will say that.
Collins says she was thinking?
Well,
we know that's not true.
Yeah. Well, actually, I had an issue up here. The U.S. Attorney has so much interesting role for the DC U.S. Attorney. I went to the DEA and I said, "Hey guys, what are we not doing?" I would go all these law enforcement. I say, "What is that? What is somebody not doing that I could do to help you guys?" And the DEA guy said, "We got all these marijuana farms in
Chinese drug cartels control Maine."
Yeah. And so they said, "We can't get it under control." And the U.S. Attorney up there won't do anything. And I said, "I'll take it. I'll take the cases." I said, "Let's figure it out." So I wrote a letter to the Maine governor and I said, "What are you doing about these pot farms that the Chinese are running? We got to take a look at this because it's impacting what's going on." And so nothing's progressed.
What did Governor Mills say?
She had some milquetoast response about something, but nothing.
No, we're looking into it.
Yeah. But I mean, when you look close, it's a disaster. And she and her administration is really not just looking the other way; they're allowing chaos in this state.
Well, her brother is benefiting.
Right.
Yeah, it's probably the most corrupt state outside of New Jersey out of 50. But were there any other senators who went on the record?
No, they were doing a dance. Look, I mean, McConnell in fact, McConnell's staff was talking to me about pitching him because they weren't a hard no at the beginning, but at that level, in that process, they're all playing a game, right? Until they have to look. Senator Hawley, I'm from Missouri. Senator Hawley said, "If you get to the floor, you'll definitely get the votes."
Yeah, they're afraid to vote against you.
Right. But he said there are going to be all kinds of machinations beforehand. So to your point, I don't know if Senator Tillis was taking one for the team, if he was, killing me to help other people or what, but he was the obvious one that decided. To the
extent what do you think the real issue was? Why wouldn't Republican senators form a blue line in support of you? Like what was it that made them 9/11, you said? I mean, rather 9/11. January 6th.
January 6th. I would say that a number of times it was clear that I was not going to be sort of controllable, that I was going to do exactly what I thought and what the president let me loose to do. And I think that that's for the the sort of ruling class, that's the wildest of wild cards. And so
a prosecutor who's
willing to do
not controlled by corrupt interests. Yeah, that's the scariest thing there is.
Right. So, but I don't really know. I mean, I would have bet that I would have gotten through because President Trump wanted me.
Yeah.
So, it's hard to know. I thought some of the other guys that got confirmed had a lot more checkered past, but I don't.
But it's not about that.
Yeah.
Of course, it's never the liars who get in trouble. It's the truth tellers who are the threat. Of course.
Maybe.
For sure.
Okay, I don't know.
For sure. They don't care if you lie. They lie. They love lies. Their father is the father of lies. But you are staying on in the administration.
Yes. I mean, I hate to say I got a promotion. I don't want to be too Pollyannish, but I kind of got a promotion. I mean,
Yes.
a U.S. Attorney's Office, to be clear, it's the greatest prosecutor's office in the world, really. It's got all of the city-level crime. It's like a DA. It's a great DA office. And then a huge U.S. Attorney's Office with cases all over the world and all sorts of complicated, interesting stuff, and a huge docket. I can get to all USAID. All the USAID falls within us. So when you see the fraud that's going on in Europe and this is all stuff that the U.S. Attorney, and trust me, the U.S. Attorney is already looking at it, and you can look at this stuff and say, because of the jurisdiction. So, but it's a big office with a lot of bureaucracy. And so what I got, basically my new job is focused on weaponization. The docket is the whole world and the country to say, where have they done wrong and how do we go and get to the bottom of it? And so, look, I'm the president. It's a key moment. It's a key moment. The president trusts me to do this. And so, Pam Bondi has been great about directing us on this. So I'm excited to go over there and fight.
So we're not positive if cryptocurrency is the future of finance, but we do know that what we have now is broken and dangerous. Debt has never been higher in this country. Many of our so-called leaders are getting rich, serving you. It's a scam. So where does it go? Well, thankfully, there are options. Donald Trump has said repeatedly he wants the United States to be the crypto capital of the world. He's already created the Crypto Advisory Council and recently signed an executive order to establish a Bitcoin strategic reserve. This could give normal people an alternative to the government's failing system and frankly to the US dollar. I'm not saying put all your money outside the US dollar, but don't be crazy. Don't be stupid here. You can see where it's going. So the people at I Trust Capital can help you get in to this. It's complicated for people who aren't following it. They make it easy. They're based 100% in the United States of America. We looked into this. They service only American investors, and they operate the only platform that allows you to buy and sell crypto 24/7, both inside and outside of your tax-advantaged IRA. And it all happens on one easy-to-use dashboard. They also operate a closed-loop system, meaning that bad actors can't access your account and steal your money. So if you're considering adding Bitcoin, if you want to, or some other cryptocurrency to your portfolio, iTrust can be trusted, and it's easy to understand. itrustcapital.com or click the link below. It's amazing that someone in D.C., so anyone who lives in D.C. knows that the city is mismanaged by Muriel Bowser, the mayor, but it's also kind of falling apart. The real estate market has collapsed because of COVID, but also because of crime.
Yep.
And they need law enforcement in D.C. and they don't really have it. And yet this woman was so mad at you that she spit on you. It just tells you the power of the propaganda that Schumer unleashed.
That's right. Well, I want to brag for a minute. We shifted a lot of our resources to fight crime. You know this, but 720,000 people live in D.C.
Yeah.
650,000 live in poverty and a tough setup.
For
right?
sure.
And frankly, they've been getting stuck by both parties forever, right?
Of course.
So you walk down the street in Anacostia and you're like, I went to do an interview in Anacostia and we pulled up and there's an ambulance and all. And I said, what is that? And I said, somebody was shot there, laying there. And we went in to do the interview. It was like, oh yeah, so he's not going to die. He's going to be fine. So what we did was we turned all of our resources on that side to getting rid of the guys with guns, the bad guys with guns, and we dragged them to federal court. Now that sounds like it's not that revolutionary, but you start to get, in March we got 18 and in April 24 arrested with guns and off the streets. For 700,000 people, what they mostly need to know is somebody's trying to help them make it better, right? And trying to make life better. And crime is down 25% and the basics are going the right direction. So, but no, that woman screeching at me and spitting on me that's a fruit of the environment that says make anyone who's doing something important into someone toxic and we'll get people to be agitated. But
it works.
It works. Oh, it works completely. The only problem is our side, meaning I think God-fearing Americans need to understand. I just told you, we've got to get the truth out. You can't sit back and say, we're right. That doesn't matter.
No, I know.
Your neighbor is still being inundated by the Washington Post, right? They're still being told by the Washington Post that somehow it's problematic that I was on RT. I did interviews on RT and that, this is the end of the world. Well, I mean, Swalwell's got it.
You went on RT?
Yeah, I went on RT. I did interviews on RT.
Did you have did you have sex with the Chinese communist spy?
I was just going to say, no, I did not. I mean, I wanted to make clear that.
Sorry to ask you personal questions.
I wanted to make clear that. So, but my point is that
I loved RT. RT was a great channel. I didn't agree with everything, but I don't know.
I've only been told
going on RT, or were you the news director? You were just a guest?
I've only been told what to say on one network, and that was the communist CNN. They told me I had to say that. Otherwise, but my point is to your point, we can't rely on the truth. We are right. We have to, though, and this is where I think there's responsibility in government. We have to expose the truth. We have to expose it. And if they're not shamed, at least Andrew Weissman can hear his name. Andrew Weissman is truly one of the more despicable figures in modern American life. Mary McCord, Georgetown University. I got in a fight with Georgetown. Georgetown University's mad at me.
Filthy organization.
I wrote Georgetown Law, and I said to the dean, we're not going to hire your people either for jobs or internships because you're doing DEI after the president said stop.
Yes.
He wrote back and lectured me on Jesuit ideals. Jesuit ideals and freedom. Now, he went to Yale and Harvard. I don't think those are religious, but I went to, Holy Cross, slightly Jesuit the whole time, St. Louis U, Jesuit, on and on and on. And he lectured me. But here's what happened quickly.
Was he a Jesuit?
No, of course not. He said he's not even Catholic. Well, maybe he's Catholic. I don't know. But he's lecturing me. And bar complaints are coming in from people saying Georgetown is great. All I'm saying is this, Tucker.
Georgetown's disgusting.
Well,
sorry.
But more importantly, you talk about weaponizing government. You got this Rosa Brooks, Mary McCord. These are the people coming out of Obama land, and they're taking the Transition Integrity Project. Remember this? The Transition Integrity Project, and they're saying, how would we do an American color revolution, right? How would we do that? And they're laying it out. Remember game planning? They were doing this tabletop, and they're looking at, and participating are all kinds of Americans with security clearances and, military background. And
it's terrifying.
And we're supposed to sit here and say, oh, isn't this great? You guys do all of that, and we say nothing. And meanwhile, you get hundreds of millions of dollars in American tax dollars to do it to us. So I asked them a question. They got upset. But the point here is...
And I know Rosa Brooks well. She did that out of Georgetown.
Of course. That's what I'm saying. It's an institute still. She's still doing
Georgetown is, it's had really unhealthy relationships with the U.S. government for many, many decades. The CIA Small Arms Training Facility was on their campus. I know that for a fact because I know someone who trained there. Georgetown is one of those things. It's not a private institution. It's an arm of the deepest of the deep state. And they're scary and they're supported by U.S. tax dollars. It's not a college. You want your kid to go to Georgetown. Oh, he goes to Georgetown. Go Hoyas. It's way more than that. People just have no idea.
Well, and my point to you is I agree, and we have to name it.
Yes.
It's not enough to us to know. We have to say Mary McCord and Rosa Brooks at Georgetown Law.
Oh, I know.
What they're doing is destructive to the country, and people should know it.
They're planning insurrection, actually.
They speak of it.
I know, using U.S. tax dollars and all these, nice, sort of well-meaning Irish Catholic alums around the country who don't agree with anything that Rosa Brooks says are sending them money and sending them their kids there because the veneer, the skin suit still lives. Right. Georgetown. Oh, Pat Buchanan went to Georgetown. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the fakest place in the United States. Way worse than Harvard, actually, I think.
Right.
Sorry.
But fake would be bad enough.
Yeah.
It's destructive.
It's sinister. Oh, I agree.
It's destructive. And again, if you think it's a debate, if it's a debating moment, then you're in one spot. If you think it's a battle for the future of the country and the world, then you're in a different moment. And that's how I look at what we're seeing going on. And that's why I think some people probably realized he knows how this goes a little more, and so they didn't want me in that spot. But I got another spot, so it'll work out.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. We hope you'll subscribe to it. And by the way, you can hit the little bell on there and get notifications every time we produce a video. We hope you'll do that also.